We're here today with Asa Hutchinson, who is a Republican candidate for governor of Arkansas, and we're just going to be talking for a few minutes. First of all, welcome to Magnolia.
Good to be back. Always glad to be in Columbia County.
Tell me about some goals that you would like to accomplish as governor.
Well, there's one overarching goal that I want to accomplish, and that is expanding economic growth and job creation in the state of Arkansas. To accomplish that, you've got to concentrate on education and having a more competitive tax system, more efficiencies in government, doing things better, greater partnerships. But the overall passion that I have, and really the reason that I'm running for governor, is job creation and improving the economy of this state. I'm really impressed with what's happening here in Magnolia with some of the expanding existing industries that you have, your teamwork that you have, concentration on workforce education. All of these things are really great models and examples as to what we can do in Arkansas. But that's my focus, and education again is a big part of that. Skills education, computer science education, keeping up our standards, but then we have to have a competitive tax system in Arkansas so that we can attract and bring in industry in as well.
Let's delve into education a little bit. What are some of the specifics that you would like to see done as far as improving the education system in Arkansas, and also how one would go about paying for it?
Well, first of all, I want our education policy in Arkansas to be determined by our state and not dictated by Washington, D.C. That's sort of a fundamental opinion that I have, and assurance that that's how I will govern. We also need to have high standards in Arkansas in education so that our students are expected to perform well, and we can measure that, and the parents will know how the school is doing and what kind of education the children are getting. And within that, though, those high standards, we need to have some flexibility within our public schools so that they can teach the curriculum that they determine reflects their community. If a school wants to teach cursive, they certainly should have that prerogative and flexibility to do that. So that's sort of an overall philosophy that I have. In terms of funding education, that's the first commitment that we have. We need to make sure that our schools are adequately funded, and we have a committee that assesses what's needed for making sure that the schools are getting the support that they need from the state. And so it's a continued obligation that we have. A couple of specific things that I want to do is that we need to recognize that not everyone that's going to high school right now is going to wind up going to college. We want to prepare them for college and encourage that path, but some will want to go into the skilled workforce, carpentry, welding, plumbing, industrial work, and we need to have that path available for them. And so we want to streamline our skills education and coordinate it between our two-year colleges and our high schools. As part of that, I want to talk just a second about my real commitment to computer science education. Nationally, only 1 out of 10 high schools in America offer computer science, even offer it. And Arkansas is not behind the nation because our whole nation is behind. We don't offer computer science in our high schools, and we don't even give a high school graduation credit for computer science, and so nobody has an interest in taking it. So there's two things I want to do. Is one, I want to change the law so that if you take computer science, you're going to get a math or a science graduation credit for it. Secondly, we want to make sure that it's offered in every high school in Arkansas within 4 years. That's my pledge, that's kind of commitment, and that gives great job opportunities to our young people, but you also create entrepreneurs that could be the next Bill Gates when they learn the ability to write computer code.
Governor Beebe, of course, has pushed increasing the number of Arkansas students who get college degrees. Here in Columbia County, we have a relatively high college graduation rate of about 17%, but that is well below the national average. It's high for the state, but it's well below the national average. Still, we need college graduates. And what do you see as the role of the state in encouraging that to happen?
Well, economically, you do see that if you have a college education, your chances of having high-paying jobs of the future are much increased. And so we want to certainly make it available, make it affordable, and encourage our young people that have that aptitude and that desire to go to college, and not just go to college, but that they finish college. And that's one of our challenges. We have many that will utilize the lottery scholarships and other means to go to a four-year college, but then they have to go into remedial work. They wind up not being capable of graduating from college, and so our graduation rate is down. So I think we need to continue to improve our college preparatory work in high school, as well as have that second path for a skills education. And so I think you can do both, and I think that's important. One thing that is important is that, if a student is going to our high-performing high schools and they decide and they have a good grade point average and they go to college, they should not have to be put into remediation. They should be prepared for college. And so I would like to have some rewards out there, some financial rewards for high schools that reduce their remediation rate when their students go to college. That's an incentive to do better. It's a positive reward, and hopefully that will be successful and reduce that remediation rate. Our remediation rate in college is not the fault of the colleges, it's the fault of our K through 12 education. And so we need to make sure they get what they need as they enter college.
The one thing, of course, that we have in South Arkansas in abundance are natural resources. Timber, oil and gas, bromine, lignite. Uh, how do you think the governor's office can help with the development of those resources?
Well, first of all, the governor's office needs to set a climate in state government of economic growth, of partnership with business, not being a regulatory burden, but to recognize that people in business want to do the right thing with the environment and making sure Arkansas is a quality place to live in the future. People who have businesses also have children who are growing up in this area. And so let's don't be punitive toward those startup businesses and industry that's growing Arkansas. Let's work more in a partnership fashion. Secondly, whenever you look at our natural resources in South Arkansas, which is extraordinary, we need to continue to improve our technology so that we can get those natural resources out of the ground. We're going to have to do some testing. We're going to have to do some exploration to make sure we identify the technologies that work well and protect our environment. When it comes to lignite, I know that SAU under Dr. Rankin's leadership has had a lignite study, but in order to really go to the next step, you've got to have a test that's run as to how feasible it is to get the lignite out of the ground, to determine the market access to it. And I would like to see that done just to determine the feasibility of lignite production. We don't know until we actually test that and whether that is the right direction and the right opportunity for South Arkansas.
The final question, I'm sure you have some opinion about marijuana in your former position with the DEA. What is your feeling about the current petition drive that's going on to put medical marijuana on the ballot in Arkansas?
Well, you have to have some compassion, certainly, for anyone who has an extreme medical condition that's filled with pain and they're looking for relief. But historically in Arkansas, we have determined what is best medicine through what the medical profession, the American Medical Society, and the FDA, the government agencies, determined is good and effective medicine. Thus far, they have not determined that about smoking marijuana. They do have Marinol, which is a synthetic product that can be used, a doctor can prescribe, that has the THC content. I fully support that. But that right now is our as our marijuana substitute that is medicine for those that are in need. The ballot initiative takes it away from the medical community and just says the voters are going to vote on it. While that's a prerogative of our democracy, I don't think the concept of smoking marijuana as medicine has been proved by our medical community, and until that happens, I don't support that.